for Pickle.
Okay, I think we're probably the only two people in Dublin at this point who have not been to Pickle so far. It's on Camden Street,
Okay.
which is very, very good place to be a restaurant right now. There's loads of places there already and coming. You've got John Farrell's Chinese restaurant's going to come there as well. But Pickle basically is set up by this chef called Sunil Gai, and he has, have you heard of him?
Oh, I have indeed. The Jaipur.
Yes, he worked for the Jaipur group for about 16 years and
Yeah.
really made a name for himself out in Ananda in Dundrum,
Yeah.
which is pretty much the closest thing to, I think, Michelin starred Indian food that we have in Ireland.
Yeah, okay.
You know, it's more fine dining and things like that. And I remember Sunil would have said when he originally came to Ireland, there were certain types of food that he wanted to cook.
Yeah.
And I suppose Celtic Tiger times we weren't big into some of the things, like some of the cheaper cuts of meat. Like things even like chicken thighs, he tried to put them on the menu in Ananda, and Irish people just weren't having it. They wanted their chicken fillet.
Yeah.
So now he's, after 16 years with the Jaipur group, he's left Ananda and he's started on his own in this really cool place called Pickle in town. It's much more casual than Ananda, and he's doing that kind of food that he's always wanted to do. So it's like North Indian street food.
Yeah.
This is the type of food that he would have, he had a big family growing up, and the type of food that he cooked with his mum.
Okay.
And you have things like boneless chicken thighs, which is really nice because the chef does all the work for you. And goat meat like hasn't really taken off in Ireland, and you kind of wonder why. So there's a little bit of goat in there, not too much. But they also do really nice things for lunch. Like they do this little tiffin box, which is kind of inspired by what the lunchbox Sunil used to bring to school when he was a kid, which I think is super cute because it's a nice way of doing lunch. So if you want to pop in there for lunchtime, if you're in an office nearby, it's a nice place to go.
Indian food for lunchtime, would you go with that?
Well, it's probably, see, when we say Indian food, I think we always think these big curry dishes and all that. That's not necessarily the way they would eat.
Okay.
You know, and like if you'd been to Ananda and stuff like that, having Sunil's food over the last few years, it tends to be like meats and fish that have been marinated and have all these lovely spices. We never really get the big things of just sauce. So I think he's doing things that he's always wanted to do. And now we can, because I think Celtic Tiger times, you know, we kind of dictated to the chefs what they did. And now I think the last few years we've gotten better at eating the cheaper cuts of meat. We've become more experimental a little bit.
Okay, very nice.
I think chefs can go off and do a bit more, do what they want to do. But obviously you have to have certain things in your menu just to tick a little box.
Yeah, okay.
And you do that. So Pickle is where everyone's been talking about, and it's been getting amazing reviews.
And is there beers and things?
So I think they're hoping to introduce Irish craft beers, and why not? Like, it's great if you can take things like an Indian way of cooking, but put Irish ingredients with it. You know, and then Irish craft beers as well.
Okay.
I think supporting local is
and it's reasonably priced.
It wouldn't be as fine dining. Like you can get your tiffin box for about €11, and you know it wouldn't be as high a price point as maybe some of the Jaipur group. So
yeah, very nice.
Definitely getting value for money there, and it's doing really well. Another place, it's a sister place, is, have you heard of Forest Avenue?
I haven't been.
Well, that was one of the places that a few years ago caused kind of a stir in Dublin. Everyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
It's a small restaurant, but like, and they kind of, it's this whole idea kind of smaller plates of food, more grazing rather than sticking to just starter, mains, all that kind of thing.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a much nicer way of eating.
You get to taste more stuff too.
Yeah. So, again, I think like it's hard to define fine dining, but like in terms of what was coming out of the kitchen in Forest Avenue, it was definitely up there. But the vibe of the place is nice and relaxed. So it's been really, really popular for the last few years. So it's really nice to see this couple open a second place called Forest and MARCY, it's called, and it's opened actually on Leeson Street, and it's a small menu, small wine list. But what's nice is they're going to change the wine list along with the menu, which, you know, it's nice if you're going there regularly to get, you know, different wines, being introduced to different wines. So that's open now in Leeson Street. So it's coming up to barbecue season now, so there's a couple of kind of barbecue inspired restaurants we could talk about. There's one in Cork that's just opened up actually in Cork City.
Great.
Called the Holy Smoke, and it's opened up by a chef called John Reilhan, I think his name is. So he's actually come over from Jamie Oliver's barbecue restaurant in London, but he's a Kerry man, and he's opened up in Cork City.
Wow. And
then in Dublin we have a restaurant, well, it's a pub more so, called FOWL. It's opened up by the guys behind do you know the George Bernard Shaw? And they do the big grill barbecue festival in Herbert Park every August. So they've opened up this restaurant in the Square Ball pub. It's just around the corner from Hollow Street, so I wonder will they be getting a lot of first time fathers going in and having a beer and some chicken. But basically, fowl play, it's all things fowl, chicken, turkey, all free range, slow cooked, and all about their sides. They have things called frickles, which are fried pickles, and peanut butter slaw, and like char grilled baby gem.
Peanut butter slaw?
Peanut butter slaw sounds good.
Peanut butter coleslaw?
Yeah, well, flavoured coleslaw, yeah, I'd give that a go.
A peanut butter like?
Well, I'd like the flavour, yeah, I'd give that a go.
No, I hear you like, but peanut butter like. Yeah, okay.
So that's opened up around the corner from Hollow Street, so that's one to look out for as well.
Gosh, yeah, very good. Jeez. There's a serious amount of restaurants then.
I know, in Dublin. I suppose it's to do with the rental price and things like that. I mean, we've a really good casual street scene.